What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Yoka coming to you from New Orleans, NOLA, the Crescent City. Yeah, that Big Easy, baby. And today I got some content for you. But before we get into all that, make sure you do me this huge favor. I'm talking about smash that like button, absolutely assault that thing. Click on subscribe and click on the bell notification so you'll be aware of every last video that I'm putting out. Also, engage in the comment section for your boy. Let me know how you feel about this. Uh, don't be shy and all that. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna probably rub a lot of people the wrong way with this one, but your opinion is welcome. Not everyone's gonna agree with me. With that being said, just do your boy that favor. Also engage in that comment section, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to share your opinion, do me a favor and drop some fleur-de-lis in the chat for your boy. Please and thank you, you hear me? So this is gonna be it's probably gonna be a bit of a rough one. So JID, JID dropped his album this morning, midnight this morning. And I mean, there's not a lot of things that I was anticipating for the year. This being one of the things that I was anticipating. I'm not the biggest fan of JID, but I am familiar with JID and I do like JID as a rapper. I am a fan of how he raps. I'm not necessarily a fan of him project wise. I am he does give solid bars. He does give solid. Uh, he is a solid MC. I would never take that away from him. He is very talented. He has a command of the English language, and that is greatly appreciated. Much better command of the English language than me, and I'm like 6 years his senior. As a probably by the time this review comes out, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be legit 6 years his senior. But the problem I'm having is that I don't think JID is necessarily a great album artist. And this kind of proves it. So the name of the album is God Does Like Ugly. When I thought of this, when I going into it from track number one, I thought we were going down a certain direction. And JID throughout the album made a few detours. And towards the middle to end of the record, he never came back to what I thought the focus of the album was going to be. Started off right there, and I thought we were going to get this theme. He did a lot of detouring, and it didn't necessarily resonate with me. Like I said, I'm not like the a huge JID fan. It's not like I was just clamoring for this project, but I was clamoring for dope MCs to make a comeback in 2025, right? And JID being one of those dope MCs that I was looking forward to. After listening to this album, I've come to a few conclusions about him. And it's not a slight, it's not a knock. These are just my opinions. A lot of people subscribe, and you know, this is a it's not gonna be an in-depth review. None of my reviews are in-depth. I'm not like a person to go break down bars. You already know I'm not about to be breaking down bars like that. Although I did produce, I've have written raps, I have written hooks, I have written songs. I would never consider myself to be on the level of a JID. My focus was mostly on production. And another thing about this album is that I didn't find the production all that compelling, if we just keep it 100%. So let's get into it. Opening track, You Ugly, was a great opening track. I have no problem with it. Production wise, I had no problem with it. West Side Gun being on the just opening it up is fitting for a person, MC on to the caliber of JID. I will give it that. But this album just didn't hit for me, and it seems to have been a trend going throughout 2025 where albums are starting strong and then they're tailoring off towards the end. Out to be honest with you, I expected this for me. I expected it. But I thought that JID would at least get me to track number 8 before that decline started. The problem I had with the album is although I like tracks 1 through 6, They were just good. There was nothing mind blowing. I didn't take away anything from it, other than JID reinforcing his faith, which I have no problem with. We both, I'm sure we both share the same faith. Shout out to JID for putting that on his shoulders and bringing that to the forefront, because a lot of MCs are afraid to go this route musically and bring forth their spirituality. So I do applaud him for that. So You Ugly was solid. I have no problems with You Ugly. Glory. Hold on. I need to pull up the I do need to pull up the track listing because no, I'm good. I'm good. Glory. Glory, solid performance from Jid lyrically. The thing is, lyrically, it although solid, there was no real takeaways for me. There was no real there were a couple of quotables, but they were few and far between. But Glory is a solid track. So you know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the hearts just like we did on that last one. You Ugly gets a heart. Glory gets a heart. Solid lyrical performance from JID, from Jid. Work, another heart. I appreciated this one. I appreciated the bop of this one. This is one that I can definitely hear me playing on the workout. Like, this hit the mark for me. This was one of the better songs on it. I'm not gonna knock that. We're starting off strong. We're starting off strong. It's nothing mind blowing. Is nothing just astronomical, but we're starting off really strong. And I do appreciate that, Jed. I know that this is probably going to be a very harsh review, but I do not want anyone to think that I'm hating on this man, because I am absolutely rooting for all great MCs for 2025 and beyond. So it's not me, it's not an attack on him, it's just missed the mark for me. That brings me to Community featuring Eclipse. I don't know what's going on. Malice is just smashing everything this year. Pusha T had a solid performance. Jid had a solid performance. It was very introspective. It was them talking about their community and some of the hardships, some of the things they had to face while growing up. I appreciated this. I appreciated them giving us a glimpse, even though we always get it from these artists. We always get it from Jid, Pusha T, Malice, Jid talking about his friend being unalive. We've gotten that before. I appreciate it when artists bare their soul and put forth this kind of very transparent image for their audience. It's a way of opening it up, and I have no problems with this. I love this song, Community, and I love what Malice did. I love what Pusha T did, and don't get me wrong. But I guess since we're so used to Pusha T, that gentrification line, that was dope. It's just there was one line I can't remember what it was, but I've gotten that line before from Pusha T, or a variation of that line before, and I was just like, yeah, you just solid verse, but I just gotta call a spade a spade a spade. Malice murdered this. One of the better, excuse me, one of the better verses on the entire album, in my opinion. And that's par for the course, as if you've seen the trajectory that Malice has been on in 2025. It's to be expected at this point. G's, although I'm not the biggest fan of G's. I do not like the beat whatsoever. I thought the production on this lackluster, to say the least. Jid did okay. It wasn't nothing amazing. He tried to save the beat. He tried to bring the beat along with him, give it a little bit of a bounce, a different bounce, with his flow. But for the most part, it didn't hit the mark for me production wise, so I can't give that a heart. That brings me to VCRs featuring Vince Staples. I'm sorry if you hear my kids in the background. I'm not stopping the video. You hear my kids arguing in the background. That is what it is. That's what happens when you're dad. VCRs featuring Vince Staples. Both solid performances from JID and Vince Staples. I have to give that one a heart as well. What I did notice on this album, that everything where JID had a feature, he put forth his best effort. So what I needed from JID is, on the solo tracks, I needed him to put forth that same effort. Okay? JID did a good job on this one. So did Vince Staples. I'm not the biggest fan of Vince Staples. I think Vince Staples in his head think he's bigger than what he is. That's just my assessment. I'm just being honest. You dig? That brings me to Skate. I'm not giving this one a heart. I'm never going back to this song. I did not like. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Ciara's voice. Does she put hits together? Yes. Is this one gonna be a hit? I don't know. Everyone loves this one. I'm not a fan. I do appreciate the bass era Atlanta sound that they're bringing. I do, and shout out to Metro Boomin last week for dropping his project. Great. I love that nostalgic feel that these Atlanta artists are bringing to the forefront. I do think production wise, and I do have a problem with Metro Boomin's album. It's not a problem. I loved it for nostalgia purposes. I love that old school 2000s era sound that he brought to the forefront, and he brought back to the forefront, that nostalgia, that old Atlanta sound. My only problem with it was, one, I love everybody putting their region back on, but my problem with that particular album was that I feel as though that Metro Boomin has the talent and ability to take that sound and modernize it. That's just my opinion. It felt a little bit too dated. I get the nostalgia. I also love the fact that everybody who participated, for the most part, stuck to the assignment and kept all their writing in that era. And the style they did was perfect for that era that they were trying to establish. Right? Skate, I can't give this one. I'm not a fan of Ciara's voice, so I'm not a fan of that one. Does it have an audience? Yes. I'm not that audience. And I can't see. I think people are prematurely just calling this a banger. I just don't see that. I'm just gonna be honest with you, dude. Brings us to What We On, featuring Don Toliver. I hated Don Toliver's contribution to this. I'm sorry. It was all over the place. It's just not my thing. And Don Toliver is not like a bad artist whatsoever. For me, this one just it's a hard skip. I'm talking about no, no. So that brings us to Wholeheartedly. I forgot what Wholeheartedly sounds like. Oh, track list right there. That's Jed, Ty Dolla Sign, and Six Lack are black. I'm not sure. I'm a fan of I'm absolutely a fan of Six Lack's voice, or Black's voice. I don't know how you say his name. I only see it written. I don't never hear him say his name. I love his voice. I love his voice. I love what he can do vocally. Jid, for some reason, it wasn't like resonating with me on this one. And I know this is probably gonna be a very unpopular take. I am not a fan of Ty Dolla Sign vocally. Never have been. And I know that's probably a hot take. Never have been a fan of Ty Dolla Sign vocally. Um, Other than Six Lack's contribution, this song was lackluster at best. Six Lack's contribution was good vocally. I don't even like his writing on this one. I like, his voice is great. I don't necessarily like the way in which it was written, if that makes sense. So I'm not a big fan of that one. Brings us to Nobu. This one definitely grew on me. I'm not the target audience for this song, but I do get it. Just like I'm not the target audience for Skate. Did not do anything for me. Nobu, I'm not the target audience for Nobu, but I did like it. I did like Nobu. Jesse Reyes's performance was solid. So was JID. It was very believable lyrically. The tonality was solid, very believable. It felt heartfelt, unlike wholeheartedly. So I got to give that one a heart. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hearts. I might give this one like we'll come back. We'll come back. The interlude, I never count interludes. I don't count interludes. But since it's on here, it's I'm not the problem that I had with this interlude, it reinforces some things that I'm going to get into once I get to the end of this video. It reinforces some of the conclusions I've drawn. I'm gonna get to that at the end of the video. This is a skip. I'm going to skip over this one. On McAfee, featuring Baby Kia. This is another one of those where it's not necessarily for me. It's the setting. The setting has to be right, right? So just like work, this is one of those that I can play in the gym. It's not necessarily like his best performance. I give it a 0.5 maybe. This is more of a mosh pity type vibe. It's not for me because I'm not into the lazily written just one word. Yeah. I'm not into that. It's not that it's lazily written. I get it. It's you trying to amp people up. Just like with skate, you're trying to get people moving and grooving and on the dance floor or on in the skating rink, doing their little whatever skate. I don't know how you say it because I don't skate like that. I just skate regular. I just go in a circle when I go to the skating rink. I don't do the dancing because I'm scared I'm gonna fall and I got like to make money. I use my body to make money. You know what I'm saying? I'm blue collar, so I can't like go to the skate rink and be doing all kinds of extra twirling and stuff. Plus, I'll be 40 in 4 hours by now. In about 4 hours, so I ain't got that kind of time, player. So on McAfee, it's a good groove. It's just not for me. I can't do it. Of Blue, JID and Mereba. I think that's how you say it. Not for me. This is a pass. A lot of things that I had a problem with on this album was some of the intros seem to drag along like way too much. I don't know if this was one of them. I'm not going to go back and just. Does Moreba give a solid vocal performance? Yes, but when I'm not listening to this. Um, I'm sorry. K-Work, Pastor Troy, Hard Pass. I'm not going to get into that. Not at all. Not a great song. As a matter of fact, it was trash. I'm just keep it 100%. That was trash. And for keeps, I don't care about this song. What you want me to say? I get it. As an artist, you want to like, talk about your come up and I don't care. Talk about the plight of you coming up in ranks in a rap. I don't care. I just don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna give him a 0.5 for a Mac on McAfee. I'll give him a 0.5, which brings me his total 6 out of 15, 6.5 out of 15. That's giving him like a 4.3, which in my opinion makes it slightly below mid to me. Now I don't know about y'all. To me, in order for you to reach mid, I'm gonna need him to hit that 6.5. You dig? I'm gonna need you to hit that 6.5 to get to mid level. 6.5, I mean not 6.5, 4.5. Because I'm giving it a 4.3 out of 10. I'm gonna need you to get to that 4.5 to 6 to be considered mid to me. I'm gonna say this is below average. I'm not gonna call it trash. It's not horrible. I'm definitely gonna call it below average, definitely below mid. This is for his fans. I'm not, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not the biggest JID fan. I've recognized him as being great at his craft, being great at using the English language to get a point across. To me, a lot of this album just brought me to the conclusion that JID is overhyped. In my opinion, he's overhyped. Get me out. A lot of the lyrical performances seemed to be like he was just on cruise control. He was just it was almost like, "I just need to put this album out because this is what the fans want. I need to put this album." I don't know what his contract situation is with Dreamville, and, from what and I could be wrong, I am not like no news person. I don't follow these artists like that because I have a life, right? But from what I'm hearing, he's now with UMG. This seemed like an obligation album. Like he was obligated to do this. One for the fans, one for Dreamville, like he's trying to get from under a contract. The problem with it to me is in the NBA, when a lot of times, or in the NFL, in professional sports, when people are in contract years, that's when they ball out because you're trying to keep your stock either the same or improve upon your stock so that the next team that you go to throws a bag at you. So that's when most of the time in the athletic world, and that people tend to go hard. And it seems to me that Jid could have went harder. If that's the case that you're trying to get from under Dreamville, like I say, I don't know if this is that to be true, but that's what it's giving me. Also, it seems to me that Jid seems to lack an identity. Jid, and I'm gonna go back before I get into that. I'm gonna go back into the overrated thing. A lot of laymen, and I'm not gonna consider myself a layman when it comes to the hip hop space. I'm not just a bystander. I'm not just a consumer. I'm not just a spectator when it comes to this. Well, I am now. I am now. But I've actually participated in this, right? So I think I have a little bit of a different perspective. And I'm not going to have the perspective of most rappers, most people who actually like write music on a regular basis. I've seen people who've actually write raps review this album and they're giving it like the standing ovation, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? Cuz you know the plight of MCs, but I as a former producer can give you the perspective of a producer, and producers are a whole lot closer to consumers because we kind of like feel consumers out. A lot of times rappers get stuck in the ways. There's plenty of rappers that I've come across that have this phrase, I'm doing this for the streets, I'm doing this for the core fan base, I'm doing this for that, I'm doing this for this, I don't care about this. Yeah, producers don't think that way. Producers think in a way of which I need this to bang straight up with the K, straight up. It need to bang. The problem with this is this whole entire album, throughout the whole entire album, I never once made the stank face. And a stank face is required. A stank face is required for a banger. If my face ain't scrunched up, it ain't no banger. I not once made a scrunchy is stank face in this. I never made the monster face. I never made the ugly face throughout here. And he was spitting sometimes. Another problem I have with Jid, that's why I say he's overrated. And it's not a knock on him. I think a lot of people want to put him in this elite MC category, and he's just not there yet. He's just not there. Is he capable of it? I think he is. I definitely think he is. Jid is not a album artist to me. He's more of a feature artist. He's gonna kill a feature. But I don't think he's capable at this point, or maybe he will be in the future, and I hope he is because I am rooting for Jid. He's not an album artist though. And now that brings me to what I said, that I think he lacks identity. A lot of times throughout this album, Wholeheartedly being a great example. Not Wholeheartedly, what's that song? It's the song, it might have been Wholeheart. No, it wasn't Wholeheart. I can't think of the name of it. I can't remember the song. It's the song in which he was talking about what if heaven was really hell. Uh, Great concept, but it's been done. This is just, and it reminds me a lot of Kendrick. He had a lot of moments in here that reminded me a lot of Kendrick. He also had a lot of moments in here when he does his little those goals, but you know, that little Eminem rhyme pattern thingy he does. It reminds me a lot of Eminem. I got a lot of Kendrick. I got a lot of Eminem when he does that multiple rhyme flow. I don't like that. I think people try to put him in this A tier, S tier category, and Jid is B plus, maybe, but not A, not S tier. A lot of people think it's like the Busta Rhymes effect, like on the song "Look at Me Now." Everybody thought Busta Rhymes killed that verse, which syllable wise and speed wise, he did murder that verse, but he said absolutely nothing. And I get that sometimes from JID. JID does is and JID's capable. Another thing I get from JID is like a lot of times it seemed like word salad to me in the album. Like there's songs in which I could have got like I could have got you to paint the picture more. Like you just say it plainly a lot of times and I can't vividly put myself in that place. Like I want you to be able to like describe the smells and stuff to me like real good authors do. You know what I'm saying? Describe the feelings you were going to like paint that picture for me. Paint that picture to where I can see it in my mind. And I think you're capable of that. I think JID can elevate his pen to that level. I am not knocking him for that. But overall, I'm going to give this album at the most a 4.3, slightly below mid. It just wasn't it for me. And I've even had an actual JID fan, like the person who put me on JID. Like JID was on my radar, but like she the one that like really be like, man, just give it a go. And that's my coworker. She's a she likes JID a lot. And she actually like kind of put me on him. And you know, she even had to listen to it and it didn't resonate for her either. But look, there are like I say, Jed, it's not a knock on you. It's not a like I love you as an artist, as an MC. I can't even say love you as an artist because I think the art itself is a little bit subpar. Maybe par at best when it comes to projects. Project wise, this was slightly subpar. It wasn't I don't want to give it bogey because that'd be rude, and I'm trying to be nice. But I'm gonna just leave it there. So that's all the time I got for y'all today. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit subscribe here on that bell notification. Like I say, we're on the road to monetization. You heard me. So help a brother out. Engage with me in the comment sections, the whole 9 yards. Smash that like button. Hit the bell notification. You feel me? And remember, always give maximum effort in all your endeavors. And I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.